The final confrontation between Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins before SummerSlam delivered exactly what fans expected: intensity, mind games, and absolute chaos. There were no distractions, no outside interference, and no unnecessary twists. It was simply two of WWE's biggest stars standing face-to-face before their highly anticipated clash. The segment began with the arrival of Roman Reigns. As Roman's entrance music echoed throughout the arena, the crowd erupted. Walking with his usual calm confidence, Roman slowly made his way down the entrance ramp, never taking his eyes off the ring. Every step reflected the confidence of a champion who believes he is still the face of WWE. After entering the ring, Roman climbed the turnbuckle and performed his signature pose, soaking in the reaction from the crowd before stepping back down. He then grabbed a microphone, looking completely composed as he prepared to address the WWE Universe. Roman raised the microphone and spoke just one word: Los Angeles. That was all he managed to say. Before he could continue his sentence, Seth Rollins' music suddenly hit. The interruption immediately changed the atmosphere inside the arena. Roman stopped speaking and looked toward the entrance stage as Seth Rollins made his appearance. It was a deliberate interruption, making sure Roman never even had the chance to finish his opening statement. Rollins slowly walked toward the ring with a smile on his face, clearly enjoying the moment. Instead of rushing, he took his time, allowing the fans to sing along with his entrance theme. The entire arena echoed with a familiar "Whoa-oh-oh" chant as the crowd fully embraced Rollins before he even reached the ring. Roman remained standing inside the ring, visibly irritated by the interruption but refusing to move. After finally entering the ring, Seth wasted no time getting under Roman's skin. He grabbed a microphone, looked directly at Roman, and sarcastically repeated the exact same opening: Los Angeles. Then, mocking Roman even further, Rollins imitated him once again by saying, "Acknowledge me." The crowd reacted loudly as Seth copied Roman's mannerisms almost perfectly. It was clear he wasn't interested in having a respectful conversation. His goal was simple: to embarrass Roman before SummerSlam. Roman's facial expression immediately changed. The confidence he showed moments earlier slowly turned into frustration as Seth continued mocking him. What followed was an intense verbal exchange between two men who know each other better than almost anyone else in WWE. Neither superstar backed down. Instead, they traded insults, personal shots, and psychological attacks. Rollins reminded Roman of their history, making it clear that he had beaten Roman before and believed he could do it again. He promised that this time the loss would be even more painful because it would happen in front of Roman's own family. Rollins continued taking verbal shots, reminding Roman of previous moments where he had come out on top and questioning whether Roman could truly handle another defeat. Every sentence seemed designed to push Roman closer to losing his composure. Roman responded with his own words, refusing to admit any weakness and making it clear that Rollins would regret everything he had just said. The tension inside the ring continued building. Neither man lowered his microphone. Neither man stepped backward. The confrontation reached a point where it looked like someone was about to throw the first punch. That moment came sooner than expected. Unable to control his anger any longer, Roman suddenly exploded. Without warning, he launched himself at Seth Rollins and began throwing heavy right hands. The punches came one after another with incredible force. Rollins tried to defend himself, but Roman's aggression was overwhelming. Roman backed Seth into the ropes before knocking him down to the canvas. Even after taking Rollins off his feet, Roman refused to stop. He climbed on top of Seth and continued delivering punch after punch while the crowd reacted loudly to every single strike. It wasn't about winning an argument anymore. Roman simply wanted to hurt Seth Rollins. Officials never had the chance to separate them as Roman maintained complete control. Eventually, Roman stood back up and took a few steps away. For a brief moment, it looked like the attack was over. Instead, Roman measured his opponent. The crowd knew exactly what was coming. As Seth slowly struggled back to his feet, Roman charged forward and connected with a devastating Superman punch. The impact sent Rollins crashing back down. The move landed perfectly, leaving Seth stunned and barely able to recover. Roman wasn't finished. Watching Rollins slowly attempt to stand once again, Roman built up speed across the ring before exploding forward with a massive spear. The collision nearly cut Rollins in half. The force of the spear left Seth writhing in pain on the mat as the crowd erupted once again. At that moment, Roman had completely taken over the fight. Rollins was barely moving. Most people expected Roman to leave the ring after delivering such a dominant assault. Instead, Roman's anger continued growing. He looked down at Rollins and decided the punishment still wasn't enough. Roman exited the ring and walked toward the ringside area. Searching beneath the apron, he pulled out a steel chair. The sight of the weapon immediately changed the mood inside the arena. The crowd knew Roman wasn't planning to stop with just punches and finishes. Chair in hand, Roman slowly turned back toward the ring. His focus remained entirely on Seth Rollins, who was still lying on the canvas trying to recover. Roman stepped onto the ring apron and prepared to enter with a steel chair. But in a split second, everything changed. As Roman brought the chair into the ring, Seth Rollins suddenly came to life. Using the very steel chair Roman had introduced, Rollins struck first with a perfectly timed stomp onto the chair. The impact was brutal. Roman's head and body crashed down from the force of the move. The arena exploded. Just seconds earlier, Roman had been completely in control. Now he was laid out in the middle of the ring. The momentum had shifted instantly. Roman remained motionless after the devastating counter. Rollins slowly pushed himself back to his feet, despite the punishment he had taken throughout the fight. Breathing heavily and clearly feeling the effects of Roman's attack, Seth looked down at his fallen rival. The image perfectly summed up the rivalry between these two superstars. Roman had dominated most of the physical fight. Rollins, however, found one opening, and that one opportunity was enough to completely change the ending of the segment. With Roman lying on the mat and Seth standing tall, Monday Night Raw came to a powerful conclusion. Neither man truly gained a decisive victory. Instead, both competitors proved exactly why their rivalry remains one of WWE's greatest. Roman showed his unmatched power, aggression, and willingness to destroy anyone standing in his way. Rollins demonstrated his resilience, patience, and ability to capitalize on the smallest mistake. The final image before SummerSlam was Seth Rollins standing over Roman Reigns after delivering a devastating stomp, leaving fans wondering which man will have the final word when they meet on the biggest stage. Now all eyes turn toward SummerSlam. Will Roman Reigns get his revenge? Or will Seth Rollins once again prove that he has Roman's number? We'll find out soon. And don't forget, we'll bring you complete SummerSlam coverage and updates after the event to see who walks out victorious.